Ignited. Something so real just hit me. You know how, like, most people would say, oh, I'm not perfect? Have you ever heard somebody say that? Oh, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Have you ever said that? Are our imperfections big enough to hold up our progress? Oh. Think about your flaws, because you say you're not perfect, right? So for real, your flaws, the things that you don't do right, that you know you could make some tweaks, the procrastination, your eating habits, your unwillingness to cut certain people out of your life. Are your imperfections and or your flaws big enough to hold up your progress? I think that'll preach right there. Just let that simmer for a minute. Progress. So, what do you mean by progress, Antoinette? I'm gonna just go step by step, give some examples. The first example that's coming to mind is weight loss. Because a lot of women, it's all about the weight, how they look when they look in the mirror. What does Mary J. Blige say? Because I like what I see when I'm looking at me when I'm walking past the mirror. If you don't like what you see when you're looking at yourself, when you're walking past the mirror, consider your diet, what you're consuming, and your workout regimen, right? I heard somewhere that it's 80-20. 80% of what you consume, 20% workout. You see, a lot of people will tell you need to work out crazy, 7 days a week, you need to be hitting the gym. However, if you eat right, if you listen to actual nutritionists like Dr. Bobby, he's on YouTube, and there are hundreds of people out here. There are people who are actually doing it. If you eat right, you will naturally slim down. Now, as far as toning up, you may have to do some things to tone up. But if you're trying to drop weight, fat, slim down, what you consume will get you there 80% of the way. So once again, I'm asking that question. If your flaw happens to be emotional eating, is that getting in the way of your progress of losing weight and getting that swimsuit that you have posted on the wall? A picture of yourself 5 years ago when you had lost all that weight and you were feeling beautiful and feeling sexy again, and somehow you went through a breakup, somebody died, you lost your job, you lost a home, you're stressed out during these times, and so now you're overeating again, you're in your emotions again, and you're eating, and now you find yourself, you've gained that weight back plus more. That's one example. What about the example of having a hard time letting go of certain people? That's a huge one. That's a huge one. Will that get in the way of your progress? It depends on what your progress is. Because love will have you locked up so tight that the time that you would normally use to perfect your craft, to make money, to market, to work on your body, to work on your mind, to get back to reading your word and really being who you are and using your spiritual gifts. When you get wrapped up really good in love with somebody, that'll end all that. Because your love life will take preeminence over what you say you value. And I'm not talking about love when it's good. I'm not talking about love when it's reciprocated. I'm talking about the type of love when you are overextending yourself, It may be one-sided. You're calling them, texting them, they're leaving you on red. You're ghosted. You're confused about the relationship. You don't know whether you guys are on or off. You're looking at their actions, and then the person come back with an apology, and they change up their ways for a couple of weeks and then go back. I'm talking about that craziness. Yes.